Hello and welcome to Knife Delights. Boy, I've got another exciting knife find here. I found a Schrade Walden electrician's knife. Look at this old beauty. She's just begging to be restored. Oh yeah. Here's our blade. And you can see we got a little problem with the tip there. I think that can be corrected. But the screwdriver blade will not come out at all. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to throw this in some evaporust and let it work its magic. And here we go. I think I'll let it soak for a couple hours and we'll check it out. Okay, so we've let it soak for a while. I did pull it out and manipulate the blades just one time, and I was able to get the screwdriver blade out. So we'll take it out of the evaporust. We'll just rinse it off here a little bit. And hang on just a second and I'll move these things. Okay, we've got those things out of the way. So let's just see what we got. That's our blade. Looks pretty good, don't it? Got a little stuff there to take off. That's all right. Oh, some of that just wiped right off. We'll look at our bolsters there. And that shield is cleaned up a little bit already. Our back springs. You see that evaporust loosens that stuff right up. And a lot of it just rubs off. A lot of that dirt and grime. They look pretty good just like that, don't they? Alright, let's check out this screwdriver blade. Now, I could not open it before. And that's what it looks like. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I've got some new buffing compound called Performax. It looks to be budget stuff. This whole package costs $7. So, going left to right, we have the Tripoli, the emery, the white, and the jewelers. So I'm going to try out some of the white here on this blade. Okay, this is kind of what we've got after the first pass. That's what that blade looks like there. And that's what the back springs look like. So I'm going to keep working on it here for a while off camera, and we'll see what we come up with. Well, here's my results thus far. So using this white compound, that's what that blade looks like there. And what that one looks like there. Now, interesting enough, I used it on the back springs and it cleaned it all off good, but it like melted and stayed on there. I had to rub and rub to try to get it off. I couldn't get it all off, so I had to revert to just using rubbing compound and one of these softer ones here to actually remove the leftover from that white paste. So that's what I'm going to do now with this blade, is just revert back to using my rubbing compound. Well, as you can see, using the just plain old rubbing compound help remove the leftover from this heavier grit. So that's what that blade looks like now. Okay, off camera, I'm going to have to work on this Electrician's blade. That's what it looks like now. And we'll see what we come up with. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Let's clean it off a little bit, wipe it off. And hit the bolsters and the back springs again. I don't know, I think the jury's still out on these new compounds I got. We'll just have to keep trying them out and work with them a little bit. That's what our back springs look like. And our bolsters. And let's check out the blade here. I think it did a pretty good job on that blade. There's that blade. Now on the screwdriver blade, I didn't go whole hog on it because if you look on there, on a lot of these electrician's knives, they've got that printed on there, to release, push center lock to left. So it is a liner lock there. And I want to leave those instructions on there. So I might play with this a little bit, but you know what? We got rid of the rust. What a wonderful knife. Schrade Walden. All right, taking her out of the mineral oil, shine things right up again. Look at that wood, that nice sheen to it. I just want you to hear the snap. Got to keep getting that, pulling that oil out. Just listen to that. Nice half stop to it. Yeah, it's messy, but it's worth it. I like to go ahead and soak it in mineral oil after I've been working on it. Get all the crud out of there that I've loosened up working on it. And I want the oil to displace any of that rust remover I had in there. Of course, I dipped it in water, so it just displaces all of that, oils everything up really good deep down inside. So we'll check out our wells here down here in the channels. There was just a little bit of rust down in there. Again, soaking it helps it out, so we'll just clean these out just real quick. See there? Right along here. This is where I'm getting right here. Can you see that? Right in here. This area here. That mineral oil just loosens it all up, especially after it's soaked in that evaporust. And you can kind of see the difference there. Then we get down into the channel itself. Kind of wipe it out just a little bit. And you can see that stuff we're getting out of there. Makes a huge difference. See there? Pull the other blade out. Maybe. It's stiff. I don't want to slip and cut myself on the other blade. That would not be good. Then there would be blood. Then YouTube wouldn't let me put my video up. We know how that goes, right? No blood. Plus Randy from Randy's WSG, he'd get very angry at me. So I don't have my first aid kit handy. I don't have my Band-Aids handy. So there we go. And we can see the stuff we're getting out of there. It looks a whole lot better down in there. I just got to keep swabbing it out here and there a little bit. Let's check our back springs out real quick. I'm going to close this blade first, get it out of the way so I don't cut myself. Boy, that's stubborn. I'm going to wipe these back springs off a little bit, make sure they're nice and clean. Oh yeah. So there we get that stuff off of them. Makes a huge difference. See that black stuff coming out of there? That's probably the dirty evaporust. If you remember, I couldn't even open this blade. Oh my goodness. What snap that has. Here we go. We'll get this one. Get these back springs here. It's kind of hard to work looking through the camera and making sure everything's on camera. Got to kind of wrap my arms around the tripod. Oh yeah, got rid of a whole bunch of junk right there. Okay, so I'm going to keep working these blades, working that dirty oil out. And then you know what's going to come up next. We got to finish up with some case paste. So that's what we look like right now. Okay, in the process of cleaning this up, I discovered this blade's just a little bit proud. In other words, you fold it up, you run your finger up there, it can barely catch. I've been filing on the kick just a little bit. You want to go very slow, and this is the kick right here. I'm going to try to file that down just a little bit more so that that blade is not proud. But again, you want to go very slow because if you file off too much, well, there's no way to put the metal back. So kind of like a carpenter, measure twice and cut once. So I'm just going to keep going like this, just a little at a time. It's working. It's working. So I'm going to continue to work on that. Okay, I got that kick ground down. And as you can see, I can run my finger there. It's not going to catch anymore. I will probably have to reprofile that blade. It is just a little chunk out of it up there. But overall, this knife, and well, I kind of got it dirty again in the process of doing the filing and such. I had it all nice and shiny. Well, let me get back to it and get it cleaned up. Well, it's time to get finished up with this project. This is kind of what I ended up with. I think that blade looks pretty good. Our bolsters are looking good. Now, I didn't use any case paste on that screwdriver blade. It's kind of messed up. When you got that, oh yeah, oh yeah. I didn't do any high polishing on the screwdriver blade, but there's no rust on it. And I preserved that lettering on there, which is what I wanted to do. Whoops, liner lock. Got the channels cleaned out pretty good. Maybe I should show you that. Of course, every time I open and close here and handle these blades, guess what? I'm getting fingerprints all over them again. Let's just take a look here. Looking pretty good down in there. There's still a little dirty oil. It takes a while to get rid of all of that. Just gotta kind of keep going over it. But I'm happy that oil's down in there. It'll keep it from rusting. Now, if you're going to carry it in your pocket, if you're going to be using it, you want to get it dried out again, because that oil will attract dirt and dust and get really gummy. But for putting it up to preserve it, I like to leave it just a little wet. So there you have it, folks, a Schrade Walden electrician's knife. Just one more knife to my growing electrician's knife collection. I'm going to have to break them all out someday and just see how many I have now. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put a link to my playlist down here in the lower right hand corner for refurbishing videos. Be sure to check those out. Down here in the middle, by that big round knife delights, hit that if you'd like to subscribe. And down here in the lower left hand corner, well, that's just the next video YouTube thinks you should watch. So until next time, have a very delightful day.